ring. We gon' ring around here. East Baltimore, man. I'm a Lafayette nigga down here showing love to my brothers. Everybody know I'm a goon. Yeah, out here, man. Goon, yo. I'm about to get on the mic, yo. I wanna fuck a lot of bitches. What? I'm the truth. My street cred up there. Certified from the ground on up. I'm trying to tell you. That was a good video. Yeah, you already know. See, yo, that's why a nigga like me need to get on a bicycle cane. You feel me? Leg all off on some goofy shit. You feel me? Niggas out of all like this, you feel me? Niggas don't, nigga like me get nice on the bike, I'm gonna be fucking everybody, bitch. So you niggas just better keep them up all inside, and I'm ready to start doing everything on you lame ass niggas just cause y'all girls be feeling this, man. I ain't never slipping, I always keep a scrap. Blade bending across the line, bitch, you getting cracked. Lafayette done, I know just what to do. When them grams drop, I put it on a tube. When it's wartime, I bring it straight to you. My whole block slide, and they keep asking what's the move. I told them keep it cool, just keep the block jumping. I'm on this nigga trail like a fucking bounty hunter, and he don't see it coming. I find this shit so funny. Blow his brains out, have him stretched out like a dummy. These niggas think they stuntin'. Ty send the blitz, my little niggas they coming. I ain't got no pics, I got them strapped down. We got choppers, we got sticks. A Lafayette boss, boy, fuck your whole clique. Our little niggas heavy, we ain't ducking no wreck. I been having daydreams ever since I got this tech. I pull up, I hop out, I put this bitch to test. I beat 10 charges, yeah bitch I'm a rat. I post up in my trap, cause I ain't never rat.
A community tip led police to this man, David Warren. They have charged him in Memorial Day with Kentucky. Police Commissioner Kevin Davis says Warren is a member of the 10 Grand Club, a club of people who consider themselves hitmen for hire and a person of interest in homicides and non-fatal shootings.
One of the victims in that quintuple was in some sort of either verbal or physical altercation with our suspect, with our government, and within a day, the result was a shooting.
David Warren has quite a reputation.
If I want you dead, they might as well race you off the map.
As a repeat violent offender, the reputation he raps about in the lyrics of his music videos posted online.
David Warren is someone to me who's an absolute predator.
Warren was wanted for shooting 5 people at a Memorial Day cookout. On all 5 attempted murder charges, Warren was found not guilty.
David Warren was already notorious by the time I had heard about him. And I had heard about David Warren from frustrated homicide detectives.
The first time David Warren was charged with attempted murder, he was 14 years old. Since then, he's been charged not once or even twice. David Warren has been charged with attempted murder a total of 9 times. And that's just for attempted murder. Warren's rap sheet is 92 pages long. We reviewed recordings from Warren's court proceedings and found in at least 3 attempted murder cases, prosecutors dropped charges because witnesses failed to appear in court. Out of Warren's 15 criminal cases in Baltimore City, prosecutors dropped charges in 11 of them. The last one was for the illegal possession of the gun that killed Brian, the Glock. Officers found on the car floor. Officers did not find fingerprints on the gun.
This test proved he had the gun that killed my son. He was arrested while driving the same make, model, color car seen leaving the scene.
This is the man police arrested. His name is David Warren. And this is the bag, bullets, and Glock police found in the car with him.
This guy was connected in my son's murder in some way, shape, or form. So okay, what's the next move? You gonna charge him? Oh, we can't do that. I was like, really?
He was charged with firearms. And on June 27th, 2018, police say he was in Baltimore County at this apartment complex.
This call will be recorded and monitored.
Also on June 27th,
This is a Global Tel-Link prepaid call from
on one end of the
an
line,
inmate at a Maryland Correctional Facility.
on the other is a friend of the inmate. And that friend lives here.
Hold on, I'm gonna go outside real quick.
We've chosen not to identify either of the men because of what this jail call captured.
Hello? Yo.
Hey, yo, I need you to text your phone, yo.
Hold on, I'll wait outside real quick.
I do this is Tuesday, that's why. Hello? What was that?
Those shots are coming from the Glock. The same Glock used in Brian McKimmy's murder.
What was that?
Baltimore County 911.
Hey, I need an ambulance on Glen Michael Wayne.
I heard some gunshots. There was just gunshots. It's a boy out in front of my building. He's listening.
A black male with a white shirt laying on the ground.
911 callers.
There had to be at least 5 gunshots.
It was like about 10 shots fired.
Describe
They got from behind, yo. They got him in the back.
seeing a blue car drive away.
All you hear is a car skirting
I
off.
saw a blue Honda pull out of the parking
A
lot.
blue Honda that officers would later tie to David Warren.
That they put near during his arrest in the city was matched to the bullets that were in fact taken from the victim in our shooting out here. And so it played a very crucial role.
Warren is now in prison. An attorney with Baltimore County State's Attorney Scott Schellenberger's office put him there. Warren was charged with attempted murder in the jail call shooting. He pleaded guilty to a lesser charge last month.
We were able to get a guilty plea on a first-degree assault and use of a handgun in a crime of violence. He received a 20-year sentence. We believe he'll probably serve 6 to 7 years in jail.
Prosecutors faced challenges. Schellenberger says the victim was reluctant to cooperate, and police did not find Warren's DNA or fingerprints on the gun. If Warren does get out, he'll be on supervised probation for 3 years.
If he does anything wrong, we can go to a judge and say, give him the other 10 years.
The man who had eluded prosecution 11 times in Baltimore City now faced a prison sentence for a crime he committed in Baltimore County.
What type of message do you think this sends to the criminal?
If you want to kill somebody, do it in Baltimore City.
Yo, what's up, people? We is back. Another day on Keep It G News. And they always in Baltimore City, y'all, to cover a topic that happened maybe 4 or 5 years ago. 2018 is what I'm going to have to take y'all back to. That's why them clips in the beginning was very long, because this is how long this case has been going on. And it's a federal case. It's involving a rapper out my city named YGGT. Now, I didn't cover YGGT. I didn't cover this case involving YGGT, but I didn't cover his co-defendants. And one of his co-defendants is a guy by the name of Lil Michon David Warren. Now, in reference to YGGT, I always speak about YGGT had talent. And if he could have stayed out the streets, then YGGT probably would still be rapping. Who knows where he would be right now as far as his career. And on this channel, we always talk about having 1 foot in the streets and 1 foot out. It's a dangerous combination. You can't have 1 foot in anything and have another foot in the streets. The streets always going to take over and become your full time. There's no part times in this, you know. And when it becomes your full time, you're going to end up in these type of situations. Now, YGGT, like I say, he was a rapper, but if you let the feds tell it, he was the boss. He was the crime boss. You understand? YGGT was a guy that was dropping money and committing murders all over the city. And you would never think this by the looks of him, you know, because YGGT keep it clean. You know, clean look like a young dude, you know, maybe about his money, but you would never think that it would extend this far into criminality. But what the feds alleged YGGT was doing was using the gang from Baltimore, BGF gang, and he was using these hitters, you know, to install fear in members of the community. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, but we just going off of what the feds is alleging. But in this video, y'all need help. Because most of these guys you're going to find out, well, all of these guys you're going to find out took pleas. YGGT copped out not too long ago. 40 years sentence, 25 years prison time, all federal. And in his plea, it stays around the guidelines of what the original indictment was about. And this is what the original indictment was about. Murder.
Well, this sweeping indictment goes straight to the core of the Black Guerrilla gang family. And it is a family with a very strict code of conduct that can be lethal to anyone who fails to comply. Investigators say the Black Guerrilla family has been terrorizing city streets for almost a decade. And according to federal prosecutors, the highly organized gang has brought guns, drugs, and death to an already violent city. A federal indictment unsealed today charges 6 men associated with the gang with 6 murders, 11 shootings, and any number of attempted murders and robberies. And among those charged is Baltimore rapper Y.G.G. Tay, whose name is Devontae Harrison. According to the indictment, Harrison partnered more than a decade ago with a BGF member and began supplying heroin and cocaine to street-level drug shops in Baltimore City. And when a customer failed to pay his drug debt, prosecutors say Harrison supplied the BGF member with $10,000 and a gun, which the BGF member used to shoot the man to death. On another day, prosecutors say defendant Barack Old shot and killed a neighborhood drug trafficker while she was pushing her infant daughter in a stroller. The reason? She failed to obtain permission
Murders
from
and
BGF.
attempt murders, y'all. Now, YGG Tay was allowed to cop out to one charge, I think, of racketeering. They said that he paid somebody a certain amount of money to commit a crime. And, you know, you can do that. It's a plea deal. In every plea deal, you're going to have to admit your level of guilt. But what you're going to find out in David Warren's plea is he admitted to a little bit more than just his level of guilt. He actually implicated other people. Now, I ain't saying he's telling. I actually need people help. That's the reason for this video, because something ain't right. Something ain't right where you got a person that they as a legend committed these.
He's been labeled a contract killer. David Warren, the BGF member who years ago gained notoriety after beating nearly a dozen attempted murder charges beginning at the age of 14, has confessed to 7 hits that resulted in 3 murders and at least 10 more people shot between 2015 and 2018. Some of those crimes plotted from inside of Safe Street's office, according to Warren's plea agreement. May 2015, Warren admits to opening fire on a candlelight vigil for a rival gang member. 1 person was shot. The attack, he says, was planned at a Safe Street's office. May 2016, Warren admits to receiving $8,000 for an attempted hit where the victim was shot 4 times. Then 2 weeks later, to another attempted hit on a rival drug dealer where 5 people were shot. In 2018, Warren admits he was hired as a hitman and conspired to murder 3 rival gang members in exchange for money over the course of 6 months. One of those attempted hits resulted in the April 2018 murders of Shanette Neal and Justice Allen. Warren admits he and his co-conspirators went to a home to kill a man, and when they couldn't find him, instead murdered his mother and sister.
It's sad, it's disheartening.
There were 2 more separate shootings Warren admitted to, in February 2018 and in June 2018. Then in August 2018, Warren admitted to another contracted hit on a rival gang member that resulted in the murder of an innocent construction worker, Brian McKemmy.
And he was allowed to get a deal that didn't end his life forever. And I think, to be honest, this might just be the beginning of his deal. You know, this might just be the preliminary stages of his deal. And if y'all can remember, when I first talked about YGG Tay and the fact that he took a deal, because him and Lil Michonne took a deal the same day. But YGG Tay was sentenced. There was a break in between Lil Michonne, David Warren's sentence, and his plea. And like I said, I'm going to get to the plea. But when you find out that this man was involved in all these crimes, and where I always talk about, when in the community, it's not everybody killing everybody. You know, it's a particular segment of people. You know, you got some guys, you know, they involve themselves this deep if you play with them. But then, especially in cities like Baltimore, that's extremely violent. You got people that's what they on 24/7. They taking hits. People driving bags and they taking them. You got people that ride around all day and they robbers. This is what they do. They ain't really involved in hustling. They takers. And I told y'all a lot of times these takers, these guys that ain't right, I call them cruddy buddies. They all hang together. You know, they not going to be the type to hang with other people. Now, you might know them, they may be your man, but his immediate circle, It's always going to be people that's just like him. But David Warren also was involved in criminality at a very early age. And I always talk about that as well. When you got people that's been involved in these lifestyles and they become products of their environment, it's only but so much you can expect from them. Now, people do make it out. I don't want to never get that confused in what I'm saying. People make it out, but David Warren and a lot of people like David Warren succumb to their environment. Now, most people don't get this bad. We talk about 11 attempt murders beat since he was 14 years old. And in this indictment, what they said he pled guilty to was even more murders, even more attempt murders.
David Warren, a known member of his Black Guerrilla Family gang, sentenced to 45 years in prison Tuesday, 12 years more than what prosecutors were asking for. Chief Judge James Bridjar telling prosecutors, "I don't believe 33 years is a correct sentence," adding Warren has a lack of respect for life and is a clear and present danger to the public. Warren pleading guilty in July of 2024 to federal racketeering conspiracy, admitting to being involved in the murder of 3 innocent people, Shanette Neal, Justice Allen, and Brian McKemmy, a construction worker renovating the home of an original gang hit target. McKemmy's father, Scott McKemmy, telling Fox 45 News he finally feels heard.
Even though he didn't get life, he got 4 decades, so.
Especially since Wayne Prince, another BGF member, was sentenced to 28 years in prison in the contract killing that left Brian McKemmy dead.
I knew the name David Warren 9 days after my son was killed. He was arrested, but the city never did charge him. I've been fighting for this thing for 6 years, and finally the feds listened and brought federal charges against him.
Federal prosecutors say Warren and a co-conspirator targeted 2 other gang rivals. When Warren and the others went to the target's house and found his mother and sister, Neal and Allen, the women, quote, were then executed in cold blood. Warren admitting to being involved and was paid for the hit. Officers found shell casings, later matching a gun seen in this photo found on Warren's cell phone. Court documents reveal the photo taken mere hours from the double murder perpetrated later that day. Diving deeper into the court records, Warren admitted to participating in BGF meetings in 2015 here at this now shuttered Safe Streets site along East Monument Street. The Safe Streets location managed by Living Classrooms at the time. The court documents detail 2 BGF members who attended the meetings at the Safe Streets site were employed by Safe Streets as violence interrupters. During the late spring and summer of 2015, Warren says he and other BGF members used the site as a de facto BGF clubhouse, storing drugs, guns, and plotted violent crimes on behalf of the gang. But that's not all. 6 people were indicted in 2022, tying BGF to murder, shootings, armed robberies, and drug trafficking. Tyrell Jeffries pleaded guilty to federal racketeering conspiracy too. He also admitted to attending meetings for the notorious gang at the Safe Streets site. One of the hits Jeffries was involved in was against a rival gang member in May of 2015 at the intersection of North Rose and East Monument Streets, just down the block from the Safe Streets site. 2 years later, Jeffries admits to selling cocaine on the 2400 block of East Monument. Ricky Evans pleaded guilty in 2018 to federal charges admitting to storing guns and drugs at the McElderry Park Safe Streets site. Federal investigators claim Evans was a high-ranking BGF member. Detailed in his plea agreement, Evans operated a murder-for-hire scheme. In 2021, Ronald Alexander sentenced to 11 years in prison for federal drug charges. Court documents show a photo of Alexander wearing a Safe Streets shirt holding what prosecutors say was a bag of drugs. Prosecutors go on to say he was using his Safe Streets job to try and stop investigators from tracking him. October 2022, Vernon Harper guilty on federal drug charges. Court documents indicate Harper admitted to possessing fentanyl intended to distribute, and at the time of the crimes was working as a violence interrupter at the Brooklyn Safe Streets site. Harper sentenced to 18 months in federal prison, released in July 2023. All of this information coming to light from court documents, not from leaders inside City Hall.
Transparency for every city program, especially Safe Streets, is critical.
Unless named in court documents or the workers have died, the public usually doesn't know the names of the violence interrupters. David Williams, president of the Taxpayers Protection Alliance, argues taxpayers deserve to know who is being hired as Safe Streets workers. And it's up to the mayor and other leaders to meet that demand.
And when you're looking at Safe Streets, a program that has been under the microscope for a number of years, it's critical that Safe Streets, that they take this initiative.
A demand that has yet to be met.
We also have the ongoing FBI investigation following their execution of a search warrant at the Bel Air Edison Safe Streets location last October, almost a year ago now. It's unclear exactly the scope of that investigation, the feds keeping a tight lip on the probe. However, sources close to the investigation tell Fox 45 News it could be connected to possible DGF affiliation.
So if you round that all together, y'all, we talking about, in his lifetime, we talking about upwards of 20 attempt murders and 3 murders. And this is what they know about. If people know, they know. This is just what they know about. Now, I ain't over here to try to add more cases to them because I'm trying to figure out how to even get this deal. But y'all, remember, we always talk about how the system works. And if they think it's some money being stole somewhere along the lines, they ain't really too concerned with death, as crazy as it may be. They will let somebody tell on somebody for money crimes to get off for murders. So that just lets you know what this system is all about. I call it the barter system. It's all about money. It ain't too much about justice. Now, in this situation, it's multiple victims, but you only gonna hear from one person, family member. Matter of fact, the same guy that you heard from in the beginning. That was the father of a construction worker that was allegedly killed by David Warren when David Warren was attempting to kill another person. And I think that person ultimately died, if I'm not mistaken. I think I did a video on that as well. And I want y'all to tell me, because I'm having trouble trying to figure this out, what really happened. Now, the reason why I'm asking what really happened, how did David Warren cop out to 3 murders and 10 attempt murders and get 45 years is because I'm confused. You don't typically see this. You understand? 45 years, and this is something that the judge did. The judge had to override the state because the state was offering 33. So David Warren was ready to get less time than YGGT, and YGGT only admitted to 1 contract killing. This guy admitted to 3. Matter of fact, 13, I ain't gonna say 13 because I know in a lot of these cases multiple people shot at once. But y'all see what he admitted to. But where it gets me confused about all this, and the reason why I say I need some help, is because in the original indictment, Safe Streets wasn't mentioned. Now, for people that don't know about Safe Streets, is a violent interruption program, similar to what WAC 100 be talking about Big U got going on in California. And to be honest, you need these programs. It's supposed to be an alternative to the police. You know, everybody don't like dealing with the police. Some people like dealing with the community. And when everything working right, I think it's a good idea, you know. But what happened with Safe Streets, and I believe you need these type of guys. You know, if you want this program to work well, you're going to need guys that's still fair and other guys, because they're going to be the ones that can stop the problem. So I ain't had no problem with what Safe Streets was doing. But how did Safe Streets become a part of this indictment? How did David Warren end up pleading to something and pleading the charges that wasn't a part of the original charges? Now, it looks suspect to me. I'm asking, how do it look to y'all? What's really going on? And is people okay for what it seems like they trading money crimes for murders? Is that even, you know, is that a good trade-off? When you talk about victims of families, you know, the impact that these deaths had on these people's lives. And I want to say rest in peace to anybody that was affected throughout this whole situation, y'all, because we're talking about a lot of victims. But is it okay? You know, because it looked like to me, and this is my opinion, I could be wrong, but this deal to me screams cooperation. It screams that it's another indictment coming down the pipeline. And it looked like to me, David Warren, who was a #1 trigger puller, might be one of the star witnesses in this case. Now, like I say, let me know in the comments. This is just my opinion on the outside looking in. You know, it's probably a lot of people way more closer to this case than me. But yo, we always talk about characteristics and character traits and what you gotta watch for when you're dealing with some people in the streets. And you know, some of these guys that involve themselves in murder to this magnitude, be also the same guys that'll elbow you and they get on that stand and they'll send you over. But let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments, man. What's up? What's going on? Is anybody surprised? But it bothers me when you have these situations where you want to commit all these crimes. You heard him how he talked in the beginning, you know, real cocky with it. It's another red flag. But you want to commit all these crimes, but then it's time for you to face the consequences for your actions, and everybody want to take the easy way out. But let me know how you feel about this in the comments. It's another day of Keep It G News, and I'm out.
Nigga can't do what I do, y'all niggas can't copy me. Let's keep shit G. Let's keep shit G. Let's keep the shit G. Let's keep shit G. Let's keep shit G.